Recently I've become obsessed with liquid sweat. It is what has brought me all the way here to California when I first learnt about the performance benefit you could gain from not letting your sweat turn to liquid on your skin. I first made the connection when I would cycle in hot countries, and the less clothes I'd wear, the more watts I would gain. And it's probably why you've seen me wearing a thin mesh base layer often when I'm out cycling. And so when I became aware of a groundbreaking fabric that actively sucked the moisture away from your skin, way beyond what traditional wicking fabrics could do, I had to find out more and ended up collaborating with the Mission Workshop over in San Francisco, who were going to be creating a cycling kit using that 37.5 fabric.
When you're on your limit, your choice of outfit is probably not the thing that's forefront in your mind, but perhaps it should be. When the body produces sweat at a rate faster than it can evaporate into the air, we get wet and uncomfortable.
Worse than horses?
But what many people don't know is that this liquid sweat isn't just uncomfortable, it's lowering your performance by clogging your 4 million pores in your skin, limiting your body's ability to cool itself. In the past, athletic fabrics have attempted to deal with this sweat by wicking it away from the skin, spreading it over a larger surface area so that it can evaporate more quickly. But what if you didn't even have to get to liquid sweat in the first place? As a student, whilst on a trip to Japan, physicist Dr. Greg Hagquist visited a traditional sandbath. Historically healing sites, women would dig holes with shovels and bury themselves in hot volcanic rock to detoxify their skin. Ready to try it for himself, Dr. Greg hesitated when he observed that the rock felt hot enough to burn the skin on his feet, yet once he was covered in it, he became comfortable. Similar to the way a dehumidifier sucks the moisture from the air, the volcanic rock was acting as a desiccant, actively sucking water from Dr. Greg's skin, uniquely utilising the roughly 80 watts of infrared energy that the human body generates every single second to actively power this suction process. Dr. Greg's experience led him to develop a technology that exploited the same desiccant properties of the volcanic rock to suck moisture away from the skin while still in vapor form before it turns to sweat. At the Mission Workshop, we've evaluated hundreds of textile technologies over the last 25 years and found that most of them offer very little, if any, increase in performance. 37.5 is the most significant we've seen since the advent of soft shell and stretch woven fabrics in the late 90s, because the power to sweat less, or not even at all, means that you're able to delay the onset of your body's limit to cool itself, beyond wicking, increasing your performance.
Then the Mission Workshop invited me to come all the way over to San Francisco to create a video that would showcase their cycling kit that was going to be using the 37.5 fabric. And so what I wanted to do was try and tell a cycling story about the choices that we make before a ride and why each cyclist makes different choices about the equipment that they're going to be using. I get very nerdy, I get excited about the performance benefit, the science behind something, whereas other cyclists are going to pick something for very different reasons, or maybe no reason at all. But the thing that we all have in common is that we make those choices so that we don't have to think about them in the moment we're on the bike, so that however we do it, wherever we might be in the world, we can just enjoy the ride.
Being masochistic on the bike is the escape from your brain, and that oftentimes the only way to really exit that state is just go out and punish myself, as a part of just finding kind of balance, finding clear mental space. I think that's why I push myself on the bike. Some days I'm like in a groove, like I'm stronger than the bike. There's this infinite well of power coming from me that's being recycled into the bike, and you just feel like a monster. Those are the days that I live for, but a lot of times it just hurts. A lot of my preparation for getting on the bike is just putting on my cycling kit. I like having the least amount of clothing that I need to be out enjoying the bike. I don't like to have to rip things off a bunch. You're always exposed to the environment when you're being active on a bicycle, and you're at the whim of whatever's happening outside. Having improper gear or improper apparel that's not performing right really just bogs me down mentally. If I can forget about everything and just ride, that's the bliss that I'm looking for. I think regardless of what my goals are on the day or the week, I just want to be present when I'm on the bike.